Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator. Chapter 94. No More Tears. The three flocks following Ringfire into the opening. Toothless and Stormfly lowered to hover so their riders could watch. Hiccup glanced up and signalled. Barf and Belch flew closer, Sugar and Spice right behind them. Knowledge and Wisdom flew over, but did not stay near to the mated Zipplebacks. He chose to hover behind Toothless. "Thanks, guys," Hiccup said, shifting in the saddle, so that the Zippleback elder knew he was included. Hiccup then turned back to the twins. "Go on back. Snoggletog still needs to be decorated." Ruff and Tuff glanced at each other, and then stared at Hiccup. "You're not coming?" Ruff asked. Hiccup gestured to the opening. "When I know they are settled," he said. The twins looked at each other again, and then tapped the sides of Barf and Belch's neck. The Zippleback dove, and, to Hiccup's surprise, came to hover even with Toothless's right wingtip. Sugar and Spice moved to hover at Barf and Belch's right side. Guys?" Hiccup asked. "If you're not going to be there," Ruff said, "we're not going to be there." "But your family, they'll be waiting for your help," Hiccup began, and then pointed at the two Zipplebacks. "And they're leaving in the morning. Go and spend some of the holiday with them." Tuff shook his head. "No, boss man. Our minds are made up. We'll stay with you until you can decorate with us." "But H," Tuff said softly. "We were the reason you couldn't decorate 5 years ago. We were the reason you had to stay in the forge every year since." Hiccup took a deep breath. "I know, Tuff." He began, only to be interrupted by Tuff once more. "You knew? Of course you knew." Tuff turned to his sister. "I told you he was a mage just like Gida." "No, dear brother, I told you." "I distinctly remember telling you, dearest sister." "Guys," Hiccup called, "I'm not a mage. I'm just observant. I saw you both that day." The twins found the tops of their dragons' heads interesting. Hiccup sighed. He heard a slight hiss and turned to his left. He groaned. Astrid looked as if she had realised something unpleasant. So much for keeping her from guilt. Hiccup pinched the bridge of his nose. "Hiccup," Astrid began, her voice small. Gobber said he found a barrel of weapons in front of your workshop door just after evening meal that day." Hiccup hissed and ran his fingers through his hair. He did not want to have to go through this now. He did not want to relive that day 5 years ago. He did not want his friends and his future queen to deal with that past, when they should be celebrating with their dragons before said dragons left. "Hiccup," Astrid said again. "Who?" Hiccup sighed, knowing he would not get out without answering. Astrid would not let him. He would either answer now, or she would bring up the topic again and again until he answered later. "Dog's breath," he whispered. "Him and Bainson. I heard them. They said they were making sure I didn't leave and completely ruin Snoggletog. Like I had ruined the wooden supports for the tree." Astrid gasped. "Had Gobber not gone back? Had he not wondered why you didn't come to eat?" "I will kill him," Toothless said. "No, Toothless," Hiccup cried, placing a hand on top of his brother's head. "You can't kill Bainson." "Why? He almost killed you." "I may not know much about humans, but I do know your kind cannot survive a night in this season without the fire in your dens. I've seen that small den you use sometimes, brother. There is no fire. There is no place for a fire." "You still can't kill him, Toothless. You are not a murderer." "But, brother, I have killed humans." "I know. I know most of the dragons in the nest have. But you were all free from that tyrant queen. You don't have to fear death should you come back to the nest without food. You don't have to fight to ensure that you have that food. You don't have to kill anyone anymore unless you are defending the nest or yourselves." Killing Bainson over something that happened 5 years ago is neither of those. Toothless let out a frustrated snarl, but Hiccup felt his brother relax. Now I know why Gobber insisted on staying in the forge with you since then, Astrid whispered. Hiccup hissed at the guilt he heard in her voice. He glanced over, finding her staring at Stormfly's saddle. Astrid, he whispered. Look at me. She lifted her head, and Hiccup wanted to pull her off of Stormfly's back and into his arms. He could see the shine in her eyes, and knew she was holding back tears. Hiccup hissed again. Everyone land, he ordered. The dragons immediately dove to the small beach at the bottom of the cliff face. Hiccup dismounted as soon as Toothless's wings curled. He stared at Stormfly. She lowered herself. Hiccup turned to Barf and Belch, who lowered their heads. Guys, dismount. Please. The 3 Viking teens did as Hiccup said. Hiccup groaned when all 3 stared at their feet. Guys, he said, look at me. All 3 teens looked up. I grant you all forgiveness. But, Ruff began, it was our stupid prank, and you almost died over it. And I forgive you, Hiccup stated. It's over. It's done. No more guilt, guys. This is the first holiday without the threat of war. It's a time for happiness, not tears. But, Bossman, Tuff began, you can't forgive us. Hiccup frowned. Yes, Tuff. I can and I do. It's time to move on, guys. It's time to heal from the past, not be shackled by it. Now, please, go and spend some time with your family and your dragons. You're sure? Tuff began. I'm sure. And are you coming to decorate? Ruff asked. Hiccup smiled. I'm coming to help decorate, though Astrid's already claimed my help. We'll just have to work as a group. The twins brightened. Can we? Tuff asked. Yes. Hiccup blinked as each twin lifted a hand and slapped the other twin's hand. They spun and climbed back onto their respective saddles. We'll go, but we'll be waiting, boss man, Tuff said. The mated pair of zipplebacks bowed, Barf and Belch not lowering their heads as much as to not drop their riders. The 2 zipplebacks then flew back up to the village. Hiccup watched them and then turned to Astrid. Astrid, he said, noting she was staring at the water in the inlet. I was so mad at you that day, she whispered. You, Bainson and Dog's Breath said you had set fire to the tree's supports. And then each year after, Gobber had to miss out and babysit you. But you didn't do anything. You could have died that night from the cold, and you didn't do anything wrong. Hiccup placed a hand upon her shoulder and spun her to face him. Before she could protest, he had his lips covering hers. She did fight for half a heartbeat, but kissed him back. Hiccup's arms encircled her, and he felt her hesitate before her arms enclosed around him. Hiccup kept the kiss soft, even though he wanted to give her one like she had given him on the sea stack after they had failed to find the wreckage of Heather's parents' ship. Now was not the time for such a kiss. The Alpha forgives you, he whispered, after he had pulled back and regained his breath. How? Astrid whispered. How can you forgive all of us? How can you really forgive me? Because I know what holding on to the bitterness of the past does. I've seen it. You've seen it. This tribe has lived it. My grandfather still won't let me acknowledge him as such, and still glares at Dad. Dad was so obsessed with finding the nest that he almost lost everyone he was supposed to protect. It's time to heal now. Astrid took a deep breath. She laid her head upon Hiccup's shoulder. Hiccup hummed when her lips pressed against his neck. She shifted, her lips rising to rest next to his ear. Thank you, she whispered. She shifted again, her lips pressing against his neck once more. He hummed, pulling her closer. He then sighed. While he would happily stand there and hold her for the rest of the day, he knew they had to get back. "Come on," he whispered. Astrid placed one last lingering kiss upon his neck before leaving his arms. Hiccup took a moment to quell his beating heart and then climbed back into Toothless's saddle. He blinked, noticing the elder Zippleback was still with them. "Oh, sorry," he said. "Do not," Knowledge began. "Worry, our Alpha," Wisdom continued. "We know," Knowledge said, "this was important. And you are right. It is time to heal." Hiccup smiled. He looked over, finding Astrid on Stormfly's back. Hiccup tapped Toothless's neck, and Toothless rose. The two other dragons did so as well. They flew to the village, and Hiccup frowned. The tree still looked as it had when he sent Fish, Snot and Tallgear home. Vikings milled around the plaza, but none grabbed any of the Snoggle-Tog decorations still sitting in their crates. "Dad?" Hiccup asked as Toothless landed beside Stoic and Gobber near to the tree. "What's going on?" "We'll be waiting for you, son." But why?" Stoic placed a hand upon Hiccup's shoulder. Hiccup had to fight the urge to flinch. 5 years ago, we wronged you. I wronged you. "Dad." "Hush, son. It's true. I'd forgotten I sent you to the forge for more nails. When the truce supports caught fire, and Dog's Breath and Bainson said you did it, I should never have believed him over my own son." Stoic gently squeezed Hiccup's shoulder. "Never again, son. We will never celebrate any festival or holiday if you can't be with us." Hiccup glanced around, finding all but Old Man Jorgensen, two of his grandfather's oldest friends, and Bainson, smiling and nodding. Hiccup looked back up at his father. He smiled. "Thanks, Dad." End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Oh my god! Oh my god, I can't believe that. But at the same time, Hiccup's reaction. The world needs more Hiccups. It really does. Man alive. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified for whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.